to all. Here at St. Augustine's Church at Market Hill, St. George, once again. In the beautiful parish of St. George, the central uplands of Barbados, the heart of Barbados. St. Augustine's Anglican Church bears some resemblance to that of St. George Parish Church. So you can see the birds by the tower, by the belfry. So again, this is the walk to the bell. They were raising funds. They had a fundraising event in between late April and early May to fix the bell because the bell was in need of repairs. I don't know what was wrong with it, but they said that the bell, they needed funds to repair the bell. So this is the walk for the bell. So I believe that the bell is either fixed or on the way to being fixed. The churchyard over here. St. Augustine Church sits on top of Market Hill, St. George. St. Augustine Anglican Church. It's back to 1863. This is the old school hall, which was St. Augustine's Boys. This is the old church, the old school building, which is now used as the church hall for St. Augustine's Boys. Consecrated in 1863. So we'll go over. This is Market Hill down here. Market Hill, St. George is down below here. We'll take another little stroll through the churchyard. St. Augustine's churchyard. This is at Market Hill, St. George. So this is the church over here. This is the Allman grave. I know this lady, Sylvia Loring Allman. Her daughter is my mom's good friend, one of them. And they were also fellow church goers with us. I wouldn't call names because she may not want me to call her name on here, but I know she knows if I show her mother's grave. Sylvia Loring Allman and Irvin Carney Allman will be her father. So this is St. Augustine's Church over here. Lana Dion Clark and Sarah Courtney Clark. So this is another historic church in Barbados. St. Augustine is another historic church in the Anglican Diocese of Barbados. I will show you the grave of Everson Robinson Elcock, who was the founder of Everson R. Elcock Electrical Services by the garrison and later moved to Warrens. He was a justice of peace. His wife, Lucille, Ardeen Lucille Elcock, is also a justice of peace. Everson R. Elcock was a justice of peace. He's buried here. And this is all the Elcock family grave here. So behind here is Market Hill, St. George. So this is all the graveyard, the cemetery for St. Augustine's Church, and behold the church wall. We'll be looking across a bit of St. Thomas with Applewaits, which borders St. Thomas and St. George, where the West Indies Records Limited was, WIRL, used to producing records for reggae music, calypso music, soca music, spooge music, and other forms of Caribbean music. WIRL is the former Applewaits plantation and sugar factory. It's just beyond here, behind here. This part of Applewaits, that part of Applewaits is St. Thomas, but Applewaits is on the border of St. Thomas and St. George. So this is a beautiful country church. St. Augustine is a beautiful country church. Heart of Barbados. Beautiful countryside. Vicarage used to be behind here as well. The priest's residence. So this is one of the 4 Anglican churches in St. George. Augustine. Back to the church. Market Hill down below here. So Market Hill is in the parish of St. George. St. Augustine Church sits at Market Hill, St. George. And God's Terrace. Yeah. God's Terrace is behind here. Back down towards St. Augustine's Church. Back of the lodge towards Skarna. No. St. George is my father's birth parish. It is the parish in which my father was born and raised. For those of you who don't know who my father is, Satchmore that sings, or that used to sing years ago with the Sand Pebbles group. Satchmore is my father, and he is from the parish of St. George. He used to write songs as well for Wendy Allen, Shara Hackett, Carolyn Leacock. Well, Satchmore is my father. And St. George is also the breadbasket parish in Barbados. St. George was carved out of the parish of St. Michael between 1640 and 1641. St. Michael is the mother parish, and St. George was carved out of it. St. George is the breadbasket parish, the parish that fed many Barbadians from the 1630s up until this present day. St. George is an agricultural parish, the parish known for land and fertile soil. This is the month of June, which is the month for St. George regathering. So St. George is celebrating their month of gathering today, this month, June. St. George is the parish known for land and fertile soil. It is the 3rd largest parish in Barbados. Now approaching Ghost Corner, St. George. Junction at Gross in St. George. North Junction at Gross in St. George. This way to Operates and Roach Village. And this way to, yeah. And this way to Paradise Village in St. George. This way to Grove, the South, and Barbados, St. Joseph, and St. John. More in this beautiful island of Barbados.